NBC 15 News at 11 starts now.
Now at 11, right to work is once again center stage as the state assembly debates the bill right now.
Plus, day 2 of the Boston bombing trial is underway as more victims take the stand against suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev.
And after a 2.5-hour surgery, a U.S. ambassador to South Korea recovers in a hospital room from being attacked during a forum.
Well, it could certainly be a long night as the state assembly is taking up a right to work bill today.
That's right. Democrats and Republicans have been meeting in private this morning. Debate is expected to begin soon, but there are other things on the agenda. The annual State of the Tribe speech is set to begin at 12:30. The day for lawmakers began around 9. If needed, they are prepared to stay until 9 tomorrow morning. Right to work is the main topic. The bill allows private sector workers to opt out of paying union dues. If passed the state Senate last week and an Assembly committee last night, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he doesn't expect all 63 Republicans to vote for the bill, but he says there will be far more than 50 votes to pass it. Governor Walker plans on signing the measure on Monday.
Now, along with the debate comes another rally at noon at our Capitol. Last week, if you recall, thousands rallied when the Senate took up the right to work bill. Today, organizers say the employed, retirees, and students will all come together. They oppose the legislation and what they call the rushed process in which it's going through our legislature. Very cold temperatures today. But you know what? There is a big light, actually a beacon at the end of the tunnel.
That's right. Here's a live look outside over downtown Madison. Clear skies. We are seeing a lot of sunshine today, but it's just cold out there. Big change in store, though, for the weekend and next week. Let's check in with meteorologist Brian Dukes.
Hey, guys. Today will be the coldest day, at least for the foreseeable future, as we are talking a dramatic warm-up as we push into the weekend. But right now, as you mentioned, very chilly conditions. Just about everyone still into the single digits. The exception, Janesville and Milwaukee coming in at 10 and 12. It's 9 in Madison. Just 4 degrees right now in Baraboo. And you factor in that wind chill in most places, it's still feeling below 0. A 3 below wind chill here in the Madison area, 5 below Camp Douglas, 2 below as you push into Mineral Point. Just like yesterday, lots of sunshine is expected, so it will feel a little bit better as you're out and about. But of course, you will still need several layers if you plan on spending any time outside. High temperatures as we head through the afternoon only expected to be into the teens. Looks like we'll have another cold night tonight, but then that warm up will move in for the weekend. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. Guys?
Brian, thank you so much. And as he just said, warmer temps are on the way. But Montello residents, you are being asked to take a cold weather precaution. Due to frost depth, the Public Works Department wants you to run a continuous pencil-sized stream of water from your faucet. Your water bills will then be adjusted for that.
A Crime Tracker 15 alert: a man accused of killing a 2-month-old infant could find out today if he's headed to trial. 24-year-old Corey Hawley will be in court for a preliminary hearing. He is charged with first-degree reckless homicide. The baby boy died last week in Fitchburg from blunt force trauma to the torso. Hawley claims the baby fell into the sink as he was burping him. Hawley told a detective after the fall the baby wouldn't stop crying, so he squeezed the infant hard around the upper body. Meanwhile, a judge has ruled a Beloit man is competent to stand trial in the death of his ex-girlfriend. 41-year-old Christopher Rutherford is accused of running over 47-year-old Sheila Rosenbaum of Beloit with her van and killing her last May. He's charged with first-degree reckless homicide.
Making news around the nation on this Thursday morning. It is the second day in the trial of accused Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. Tsarnaev is accused of planning the bombs that killed 3 and injured hundreds in the attack in 2013. Now, the prosecution has resumed calling witnesses a day after Tsarnaev's attorney made the stunning admission that it was indeed him. NBC's Chris Pallone has more.
Just hours after taking the witness stand Wednesday, Boston Marathon bombing victim Rebecca Gregory took to Facebook, posting an open letter to the man she had just seen face-to-face for the first time, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the man accused of planting bombs at the finish line of the 2013 Boston Marathon. Gregory wrote in part, "Today I looked at you right in the face and realized I wasn't afraid anymore. And today I realized that sitting across from you was somehow the crazy kind of step forward that I needed all along." She signed it, "Someone you shouldn't have messed with, #BostonStrong." Gregory was one of 6 witnesses called by the prosecution Wednesday, most victims of the bombing who testified about the moment the blasts occurred. Karen McWaters told jurors it was chaos, it was confusion, screaming, yelling, smoke. It was hard to hear. She described the moment that her friend Crystal Campbell died on the street. Her hand went limp in mine, and she never spoke again. We expect the jury to see more dramatic pictures and videos of the attack. Wednesday, they saw footage from a sporting goods store. A window shatters, victims flood in. People grab clothes to use as bandages. An emotional start to a trial where both sides agree Tsarnaev took part in the bombing, but disagree about how involved he was. The defense pins blame on his older brother Tamerlan, who died in a shootout with police, a bid by the defense to keep Tsarnaev from being executed if convicted.
And that was NBC's Chris Pallone reporting. This morning, the defense questioned whether asking victims about their injuries and experiences is admissible in this phase of the trial. Well, the judge said nothing he heard yesterday was out of bounds. Hillary Clinton says she has asked the State Department to release all her emails from her 4 years as Secretary of State. Clinton sent this tweet last night, quote, "I want the public to see my email. I asked the state to release them. They said they will review them for release as soon as possible." A House committee investigating the 2012 attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi issued subpoenas yesterday for some of Clinton's emails, which were actually housed on a private server in her home, not on secure government servers.
Making news around the world, the U.S. ambassador to South Korea, Mark Lippert, underwent 2.5 hours of surgery and has 80 stitches after a man slashed him on the face and wrist with a knife during a forum. NBC's Keir Simmons has more.
Panic.
I'm bleeding here. I'm bleeding here. Okay.
Just minutes after suffering a 4-inch slash to his face.
I need an ambulance fast. Get me to the hospital.
Okay. Ambassador Lippert, a second cut to his arm, is bundled into a car. Moments earlier, the ambassador, who served with the Navy SEALs, calmly walks from the room where his alleged assailant was wrestled to the ground. Mark Lippert's place setting still splattered with blood. A knife recovered by police. Later, the U.S. ambassador to South Korea was helped from an ambulance, bandaged and wearing hospital clothes. "I'm okay," he says. Doctors say he is suffering some paralysis of the face and arm. The suspect, in his 50s, taken away loudly protesting about U.S.-South Korean military exercises. South Korea said it was shocked by an attack on a major allied country. North Korean television called it a punishment deserved to the warmonger U.S., while Secretary Kerry described it as a senseless attack.
He's doing as good as to be expected, and his spirit is strong.
And overnight, the president phoned the ambassador, offering his prayers. Now, Mark Lippert is close to the president. He's worked with him for many years. Should he have had more security? Well, local police say the embassy did not ask for an escort service and there was no metal detector at the door. And this alleged assailant reportedly got in despite previously attacking the Japanese ambassador with a piece of concrete. Back to you.
And that was Keir Simmons reporting.